Hello and happy Friday the 13th. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda Sarai and I'm so excited to dive into today's video, the truth about Friday the 13th. So obviously, most of us in the Western culture, in the Western world, associate Friday the 13th with bad luck. It has been demonized for centuries, associated with bad luck, and even horror and violence, looking at the movies and such that have been created around this date. So something to be feared, something to hide from. Okay, so why? Why has it been associated with bad luck, and what's the truth behind it? So 13 itself has obviously been long associated with bad luck. It has been eliminated from many aspects of our world down to airplane rows and elevators. You will not find a number 13. Obviously, the 14th just becomes, and it's 111, is the 13th becomes the 14th and it's still the 13th, so it doesn't even make logical sense. But what does that actually represent? It represents the removal and elimination of a deeply spiritual and sacred number that is associated with the divine feminine. 13 represents the number of lunar cycles in a calendar year. And when you think about women, obviously we are mostly aligned with the lunar cycles. So the moon has been cast in many different ways itself, but women have been forced to hide under the protection of darkness. So the moon became protection for women in this inverted matrix is one way to look at it that kind of resonates with me. So while there may be some distortion with the moon, I've also heard that there have been multiple different versions of it. It goes pretty deep, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in that, but we have 13 lunar cycles, and women have been very, very intimately linked with the moon and her cycles. So there we have number 13, Friday, Freya Day. So Friday has always been a goddess day. A priestess day is another way to look at it, if you follow the priestess tradition, as I do. So Freya was the Norse goddess of beauty, fertility, love, essentially the embodiment of Venus. Venus Day is what Friday is, associated with the divine feminine, with Venusian aspects of self. So in French, it's vendredi. In Spanish, it's viernes. And in Latin, it's verinus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, because I did research that one. But I knew it would be the V word, because Venus is Friday, Freya Day. So when we combine Friday and 13, all of a sudden it actually becomes a very sacred day for the sacred feminine tradition. So in ancient traditions, Friday the 13th would have actually been honored and recognized as perhaps even a high holy day, such as the spring equinox, the solstices and the equinoxes are considered high holy days, and the cross-quarter days in between. So when we have the special alignment of Friday the 13th, it amplifies this beautiful divine feminine goddess energy, which would have been celebrated. So now is the time for us to reclaim that, because very obviously it has been deemed unlucky, eradicated from the world even, and associated with violent death and all sorts of negativity and the witch archetype. So when we look at the brainwashing that has happened around witch, around the feminine, around whore and virgin even. So there's been a great deal of distortion of the feminine in society. So witch actually meant wise one, and was a term that was used to refer to healers and those who were very connected to the earth. So terrible, right? Of course. Of course the witches had to be burned and hunted down because they were a threat to the church, the patriarchy itself. Anybody who was in tune with the seasons was inherently more powerful than those who were not. And this is why we see so much disconnection in our world. And then you get into whore and virgin. They actually had very, very different meanings. So whore and virgin was sovereign, holy unto herself. Whore is relating to the womb itself, a holy well, if you will. So it is the source of life itself, the essence of creation itself, birthed from this sacred, holy place. But if you can control the womb, then you can control the world through the controlling of creation potential itself. This goes very deep. This is a wide subject, and the womb and the throat chakra are intimately connected because they are our centers of creation. We create spelling, spell casting with our words, right? So when we reclaim control of our voice, when we reclaim control of our womb space, we reclaim our creational potential, our capacity to co-create with the divine. And this is something that is a massive threat to the church, the patriarchy, and the powers that were, I will say, because the divine feminine is rising. We are here to reclaim it now. And there, everything happening on higher level planes takes a while to trickle down into the 3D. So technically, yes, the light has won, even though we are in the midst of massive polarity and distortion in the world right now. We are witnessing it in a very real way in the 3D, this distortion of the imbalance of the masculine and feminine that results in a lot of war, destruction, chaos, and death. So it's very sad to witness, but I will also say, and this is another topic that I will be getting into as I really lean into how to deliver it in the most balanced way, that the Holy Lands have been co-opted because they are such a powerful creational center of the planet. The throat chakra, the Holy Lands are the throat chakra and the birth of Christ consciousness itself on the planet, seated 2,000 years ago, not 2,000 millennia, 2 millennia. So when we look at it from that perspective, of course, there has been this strife and chaos over this very sacred area of the world, this very sacred region. So we are here to reclaim the truth, to reclaim our power through reclamation of truth. And that begins with reclaiming the true essence and energetics behind Friday the 13th. So we can begin with little steps, and it all begins within, right? As within, so without. When we reclaim our power, when we come into balance, when we align with our true soul's essence, which is based in love, and the heart center itself is guiding us forward when we operate in this space of true alignment. When we return to that knowing, then we are accessing a higher truth, the truth that is love, the truth that is based in light. So we are here to restore the narrative to truth and restore all the distortions back into alignment with the deeper essence of the energetics held within these powerful days. So this is one way that we can begin. So the divine feminine is rising within the collective, which is why we see a lot of attempts to control that, to suppress it once more. But it's game over already for the people who are trying to suppress, if they are even people. Yeah, I laugh, but oh my gosh, it's cray what's happening. So we then amplify when we access and activate the divine feminine essence that we all hold, because we all contain both energetics, masculine and feminine. When we activate the feminine essence, which is connected to intuition, with that inner knowing, with our psychic gifts, with our deeper sense of compassion and the wisdom held within our emotions, then we activate ourselves to another level of expansion. So this is about stepping into that deep reservoir of soul knowing, of soul codes that we contain within, that are contained within the womb space, if you want to think of it that way. So this is how we begin to then embody a new way of being that is based in love. So this is a deep, powerful reclamation that we are being called into. So thank you for being here and tuning in. If you resonate with this, I would so appreciate likes, subscribes, comments, all of that goodness. I would love to hear how this reclamation process is going for you and what has been activated and stirring within you, because this is a very powerful time. And we have tomorrow, and I just saw 111 again, and tomorrow is the solar eclipse in Libra, the Aries-Libra axis. So this is a powerful gateway. And as I said gateway, it was 1111. That is a gateway energy, 100%. Of stepping through that threshold into a whole new way of being. And this is a huge aspect of that process of allowing our soul to lead, our heart to lead. And this is very much that reclamation of our sexuality, of our sensuality, everything associated with the dark feminine that was demonized. Whore and virgin. Mary Magdalene was seen as a whore, Mother Mary a virgin. They were actually two of the most powerful priestesses ever to incarnate on the planet. So today is Priestess Day, today is Goddess Day. It is a time to honor the deep wisdom held within the divine feminine, who is the oracle, essence, and energy. So honing our abilities to discern what our intuition is telling us versus what is the ego whispering in our ear. That takes practice, that takes dedication, it takes devotion to self and commitment to the path of personal evolution and expansion. So yes, how do we do that? We commit, we practice, and we really allow ourselves to tune out the noise and tune into our heart space. That isn't always easy, which is why I do what I do, and I create little containers, and not so little at the same time, for people to really connect, to align, to step into that space of fulfillment and empowerment, and to really lead from the heart space. So the other week I had the vision for this littler 4-week container, Align and Shine, and really getting deeper into the energetics of manifestation from more of a expanded perspective that is not so much rooted in law of attraction and manifestation, but from more of the energetic alignment and feminine flow, from that place of surrender and being in total energetic alignment. So we're going to work with those energetics to embody and to align and to activate our soul's blueprint. So this is what we will be doing in a 4-week live container. So there will be weekly live calls, and they'll all be recorded, and additional content and activations, meditations, visualizations, and all sorts of other magic available. And I'm offering it at a launch price of very low. So if you're here watching this on the 13th, then you are getting it at the best rate possible. And if you're seeing this after, it will still be beautiful and magical and very accessible. So that will be linked below for anybody who's available or interested, feels aligned with it. If you're available, do it, yes. So yeah, we are breaking free from these old ways of being and forging new pathways together. And this is the beauty of connecting in community in these sacred containers, because it really gives us a safe space to connect with ourselves and to connect with others who are on the path. So I'm honored to be in this space of being, energetically grounded enough in myself to hold this space. So that's what my path has been, is about really deepening into the integration and integrity of holding these containers, because that is of the utmost. The embodiment piece is of the utmost, and this is why we see so much distortion in the spiritual awakening, growth, ascension community. Is there are many who just haven't integrated yet and embodied the truth of love. And it's just part of the process of initiation. As disappointing as it is sometimes, it's part of our growth if we encounter that kind of energy and we don't see it initially. So we get to forgive and we get to come back to center. So all I do is to help people come back to self and to empower them to then step forward. This is what I do as a guide and a mentor. And if this resonates with you, I would so love to have you inside this container and expansion, journey into mastery. This is my bigger container where all of the offers are included automatically. So I will also link that below. And if you're wanting to get a taste of me teaching in a more deliberate capacity, I will also link my free mini course below, Embodied Mastery, the Keys to Your Quantum Expansion. So everything is below. I'm sending you so much love, onward and upward in love and light, and I will see you soon, magical beings.